Stanza 10. He ventures in. Let no bust whisper tell, all eyes be muffled, or 100 swords will storm his heart, love's feverish citadel. For him, those chambers held barbarian hordes, high enough for men, and hot-blooded lords, whose very dogs would execrations howl against his lineage. Not one breast affords him any mercy in that mansion foul, save one old beldame, weak in body and in soul. So then we have this young man, young Porphyro. He ventures in and he's stepping into a very dangerous territory because he is not welcome in this particular castle because he belongs to an enemy clan. And it is out of his love for Madeline that he has dared to step in into the nest of his enemies. So let no buzzed whisper tell, all eyes be muffled. So the poet hopes that nobody would whisper that that this young man has come there, that all eyes be muffled, let nobody see him. Or what would happen if somebody sees him? 100 swords would storm his heart. Love's fever citadel. So his heart, which is now a citadel of love, because his heart is full of feverish passion for the young Madeline. So if at all his identity is revealed, if somebody spots him, that very heart which beats only for Madeline now would be stormed by 100 swords. And then that place, these chambers are dangerous for him because they hold barbarian hordes. They're hyena foremen. Hyena foremen are enemies. Hyena, bloodthirsty. And hot-blooded lords, and even their dogs would be ready to attack him and his lineage. So the whole lineage is hated. So maybe it's a feud going on for generations. And so he's not the least welcome in that mansion. Not one breast, not one person would support him or have any mercy on him if he is discovered. In that mansion foul, it is called mansion foul because as far as this young Porphyro is concerned, this is a foul place, it's a dangerous place. There is, in that whole place, there is just this one old lady who's weak in body and soul, who might support him, who might stand for him. So now you can see what danger this hot-headed young man is putting himself into in order to get a glimpse of his lover on St. Agnes's Eve. Stanza 11, a happy chance, the aged creature came, shuffling along with ivory-headed wand, to where he stood, hid from the torch's flame, behind a broad half-pillar, far beyond the sound of merriment and chorus bland. He startled her, but soon she knew his face, and grasped his fingers in a palsied hand, saying, Mercy, Porphyro, hide thee from this place. They are all here tonight, the whole bloodthirsty race. So then he knew now he knew that there was only this one lady who might help him, and happy chance, oh luckily for him, this person who he had in mind, she came by. The aged creature, she was shuffling along. She has a walking stick. That is what is called this ivory-headed wand. Wand is a stick. So she shuffles along because she's very, very old. And as she walks by, shuffles along, he stood hidden by the torch's flame behind a pillar, and he was far beyond the sound of merriment. So the hall where the merriment was taking place was farther off, and when she came close to him, he revealed himself and stood in front of her, and she was startled by the sudden appearance of a person in front of her. But as soon as she recognized him, she grasped his fingers in her palsied, her trembling. So she's old, so her hands are trembling. And so the moment she recognized him, she caught him and pulled him aside and said, "Oh my God, mercy, Porphyro, what are you doing here? Go away from here, because every one of the bloodthirsty race is here today. So away, run away from here." Stanza 12, get hence, get hence. There is dwarfish Hildebrand, he had a fever late, and in the fit he cursed thee and thine, both house and land. Then there's that old Lord Morris, not a whit more tame for his grey hairs. Alas me, flit, flit like a ghost away. So he says, now she tells him, run away from here, get away from here as far as you can, as fast as you can, because all those dangerous people are here today. There is dwarfish Hildebrand, and even the other day when he had a fever, he ranted and raved against your family and your people. And then you have the old Lord Morris, who though is an old man now, he still is wild and is angry with your entire clan. So go away, flit like a ghost, disappear from here. And the young man definitely did not come there to run away. And so he says, "Ah, gossip dear, we are safe enough. Here in this armchair sit and tell me how." "Good saints, not here, not here. Follow me, child, or else these stones will be thy bier." So he says, oh, now he being young and pretty callous, he tells her, "Now don't worry, you just sit here and tell me, talk to me." And she says, "No, not here. Because if somebody sees you sitting here with me, these very stones will become thy bier. Means you will be killed and buried right here under these stones. So let us not sit here." Now in stanza 13, he followed through a lowly arched way, brushing cobwebs with his lofty plume. And as she muttered, "Well, well, a day," he found him in a little moonlight room, pale, latticed, chill, and silent as a tomb. "Now tell me where is Madeline," said he. "Oh, tell me, Angela, by the holy loom, which none but secret sisterhood may see, when they St. Agnes wool are weaving piously." So now he is taken to a room, a small room, and he is, you can see that as she takes him, now she takes him through an arched way, a lowly arched way, and as he passes by, his plume, that is, he is wearing a hat with uh, plumes with plumes on it, and so the plumes of his hat brush the cobwebs of the lowly arched way, and then she takes him to a small moonlight room, and it is pale, it is cold, and it is latticed. The windows are latticed, and so a very silent room. I mean, he takes the old lady takes him, leads him to a small moonlight room, which is latticed. It has got latticed windows, and it is cold and silent as a tomb. It's a plain room with no ornamentations. And then once he reaches there, he impatiently asks her, "Now tell me, where is Madeline? Oh, tell me, Angela." So we learned that the name of this old woman is Angela. And he requests her, he entreats her to tell him where he can find Madeline. Stanza 14. St. Agnes, ah, it is St. Agnes's Eve, yet men will murder upon holy days. Thou must hold water in a witch's sieve, and be liege lord of all the elves and fays to venture so. Fills me with amaze to see thee, Porphyro. St. Agnes's Eve, God's help, my lady fair, the conjurer plays this very night, good angels her deceive. But let me laugh awhile, I've mickle time to grieve. So then when he says that it is Saint Agnes's Eve, so where is she? Please tell me. So now in stanza 14, the lady, now we hear Angela speaking, and she says, "Yes, yes, of course, it is Saint Agnes's Eve, but then evil men will murder even on holy days." So the fact that today is Saint Agnes's Eve will not stop uh, the people of this place from murdering you. If they spot you, you're dead. And then she wonders at his, at his courage and at his stupidity. And she tells him, "Thou must hold water in a witch's sleeve. You must be a magician. You must be a lord of elves and fays. or you must be a person who can hold water in a witch's sieve. You know that a sieve has holes in it, you cannot hold water. So she asks him, what kind of a magician are you? Are you a magician of some sort? How did you manage to come here? I'm amazed to see you here. How dare you come here on such a day, knowing that all these people are here? And then she says, oh my God, it is St. Agnes's Eve, and my young lady, she plays the conjurer. Today she's trying to conjure up the image of, she's talking here about Madeline, and says that Madeline today plays the role of a conjurer because she has been undertaking ceremonial, she has been undertaking various ceremonies in order to conjure up the image of her lover. And so she says, but let me laugh because you really make me laugh. How dare you come here? You are a stupid fellow. So because I don't have much time to grieve, so I have ample. So she says, while I have the time, let me laugh at your stupidity. Now in stanza 15. Feebly she laugheth in the languid moon, while Porphyro upon her face doth look like puzzled urchin on an aged crone, who keepeth closed a wondrous riddle book, as spectacled she sits in the chimney nook. But soon his eyes grew brilliant when she told his lady's purpose, and he scarce could brook tears at the thought of those enchantments cold, and Madeline asleep in lap of legends old. So then you can see this moonlit room, a very bare room. There is a chair there. This lady sits on it, and Porphyro is kneeling down with his hand on her lap, and he looks at her face like an urchin. You can see uh, um, a simile here. He's compared to a puzzled urchin. Urchin here only means little boy who looks at an age grown, looks at an old woman. That is, maybe it is his grandmother sitting on the chair with a riddle book in her hand, and the riddle book is closed. And she's spectacled. She's wearing glasses, reading glasses, and she sits with the book closed. And the little boy looks eagerly at her face, waiting for her to open the book and share the riddles with him. So, with the same eager uh, expectation, this young Porphyro kneels down beside the old woman and looks at her face. And when she tells him that Madeline has undertaken fasting today, so that she can see the face of her loved one, so that she can see the face of her beloved, he becomes very emotional, and he can hardly stop his tears from overflowing his eyes, because when he thinks of the trouble she is taking in order to pray for him, he has no doubts that she is in love with him, and so he is really touched by the thought that she has undertaken fasting for him. Now stanza 16. Sudden a thought came like a full-blown rose, flushing his brow, and in his pained heart made purple riot. And then he doth propose a stratagem that makes the beldame start. A cruel man and impious thou art. Sweet lady, let her pray, and sleep and dream, alone with her good angels, far apart from wicked men like thee. Go, go, I deem thou canst not surely be the same that thou didst seem. So then, suddenly, as he sits there, he gets an idea. And a thought came like a full-blown rose, flushing his brow. So it is as if the color of that red rose that has suddenly bloomed in his mind has spilled onto his brow, and his heart has suddenly become a purple riot. Means he's suddenly so excited, and he shares this idea with this old lady, and she is startled, and she says, no, I will not support you in this particular task. I mean, I will not support this idea. Or she says, no, I'll not support you. I will not help you to carry out this idea. And she says that you don't see, looks like you are not, you seem to be a wicked man. So she says, you are a cruel man, an impious person, like an imp. An imp is an evil spirit. So then she says, my poor young lady Madeline, let her pray and let her go to sleep and let her have a hinderless sleep and a dream. I don't want you to disturb her in any way. So, looks like you are not what you appear to be. You look like a very innocent young man, but you seem to harbor evil designs. So she says, no, go away from here. So in stanza 17, she says, I will not harm her. By all saints, I swear, quoth Porphyro. Oh, may I never find grace when my weak voice shall whisper its last prayer, if one of her soft riglets I displace, or look with ruffian passion in her face. Good Angela, believe me by these tears, or I will, even in a moment's space, awake with horrid shout my foeman's ears, and beard them, though they be more fanged than wolves and bears. The idea that he expressed to her was that he would like to go in to the bedchamber of Madeline and see her, take a look at her. That is why she expressed shock. And now he entreats with her, he begs her, he tells her, I will do nothing to Madeline. I will not harm her. And I will not even touch a soft ringlet of her hair. So Porphyro tries to convince the old lady and he assures her that he will do no harm. He will bring no harm to Madeline. He would not touch even a ringlet of her hair, and he would not even look with ruffian passion on her face. And he has tears in his eyes as he says this, and so he tells her, please believe my tears, and if I violate my word, so let my prayers not be heard. If I do something like that, he says that let my prayers not be heard anymore. And if you don't believe me, if I do anything of that sort, even in a moment's space, you can awake, or I will even in a moment's space awake with horrid shout. So he says that if something of that sort happens, I myself uh, would shout and make my presence known to my enemies who are more fanged than wolves and bears. I myself would let them know that I am here, and I would uh, reveal myself in front of them. So he tries to convince her that he has no evil ideas inside, evil designs, and he has no intention of hurting Madeline. All that he wants is to take a look at her on this special night. Stanza 18. Ah, why wilt thou afflict a feeble soul, a poor, weak, palsy-stricken churchyard thing, whose passing bell may ere the night toll, whose prayers for thee each morn and eve were never missed? Thus plaining doth she bring a gentler speech from burning Porphyro, so woeful and of such deep sorrowing, that Angela gives promise she will do whatever he shall wish, betide her weal or woe. And so Angela asks him, why are you creating so much trouble for me? Why are you scaring me, troubling a feeble soul? And what am I? I am a churchyard thing, a poor, weak, palsy stricken means a trembling, weak churchyard thing. Churchyard thing means a person who is awaiting death, who would soon be in the graveyard. Because even tonight, my death bell might toll and I would be dead before morn. So, and I pray for you every morning and evening. I've never missed my prayers for you. Why would you trouble me? So she complained. Thus, plaining means complaining. And now, when she says this, the burning Porphyro, that is the excited Porphyro, cools down a bit, and he controls his passion and he speaks to her in a very gentle manner. He convinces her. He expresses deep sorrow, and he really tells her how much he wants to see the young lady. And finally, he forces Angela to promise him that she will help him. whatever betide her weal, or whether something, weal is welfare, woe is trouble. So whatever happens, good or bad, she promises to help him. Stanza 19, which was to lead him in close secrecy even to Madeline's chamber, and there hide him in a closet of such privacy that he might see her beauty unespied, and win perhaps that night a peerless bride, while leged fairies paced the coverlet, and pale enchantment held her sleepy eyed. Never on such a night have lovers met, since Merlin paid his demon all the monstrous debt. So she agrees to take him in close secrecy to Madeline's chamber, and there she would hide him in a closet, in a kind of a cupboard. He would be hidden inside, and from there he can see the young girl unespied, means even she would not be aware of his presence. So unobserved by anybody else, he can remain there and take a good look at his lady love. Now in stanza 20, it shall be as thou wishest, said the dame. All cates and dainties shall be stored there quickly on this feast night. By the tambour frame, her own lute thou wilt see. No time to spare, for I am slow and feeble, and scarce dare on such a catering trust my dizzy head. Wait here, my child, with patience, kneel in prayer the while. Ah, thou must needs the lady wed, or may I never leave my grave among the dead. So she says that let things happen as you wish, and she takes him to the closet, and she tells him, here all the dainties, that is all the delicacies and the food to be eaten after she breaks her fast. You know that Madeline is on a fast, and so after the fast, when she wakes up after her sleep, um, the food that she is to eat, all that is stored in this closet. And so she says that I am leaving now because um, Madeline is not supposed to see anybody that night. So I am leaving her room. I am slow and feeble. So let me, because I can't walk fast, so let me slowly go away from here. And you remain here in this place with patience, kneel down and pray while you wait for Madeline to come into the room. And then she also tells him, promise me that you will marry the young lady. Otherwise, may I never leave my grave among the dead. If you violate my promise, I will forever remain in my grave, in the sense that my soul would never be redeemed into heaven. I would be cursed. So she makes him promise that he will marry her. Otherwise, her soul would be doomed forever. Stanza 21. So saying, she hobbled off with busy fear. The lover's endless minutes slowly passed. The dame returned and whispered in his ear to follow her, with aged eyes aghast from fright of dim espile. Safe at last, through many a dusky gallery, they gained the maiden's chamber, silken, hushed, and chaste, where Porphyro took cover, pleased amain. His poor guide hurried back with eggs in a brain. So in stanza 21, she leaves him in that small room where she had taken him first. She goes out to see whether anybody is around. She takes account of her whereabouts, and then she comes back when she felt it was safe to bring Porphyro outside. She came back and she asked him to follow him, and her eyes were aghast from fright of dim espile. Dim espile. Espile is looking around to see whether anybody is there, and her eyes are dim. She is pretty old and she's worried that they would be caught. And finally, they have to pass through many a dusky gallery, and they reach the maiden's chamber. And it's a maiden's chamber. It's all done up, decorated in silk. It is done up with silk curtains. It's very quiet and it is chaste and clean. And she takes him there, and he hides in the place where she asks him to. And his poor guide, and he is very happy to be there. And the poor guide, that is Angela, hurries back with aches in her brain, with a troubled brain. She's worried about what is going to happen that night. She's worried that she's doing wrong. She's worried that the young man will be caught. So with all these worries in her head, she hurries back out of the room. Stanza 22. Her faltering hand upon the balustrade, old Angela was feeling for the stair, when Madeline, St. Agnes's charmed maid, rose like a mission spirit unaware. With silver tapers light and pious care, she turned and down the aged gossip led to a safe level matting. Now prepare young Porphyro for gazing on that bed. She comes again, like a ringed dove, frayed and fled. So the old lady, she is moving down the stairs. Her trembling hands, she is putting forward. She puts forward her trembling hand to find the balustrade. The balustrade, is the railing of the staircase. So she tries to put out her hand uh, to slowly climb down the stairs. And right at that time, you see Madeline coming up the stairs like a vision, like a beautiful vision, like an angel, like a spirit. She comes up with a silver uh, candle in her hands, and when she sees the old lady, the trembling old lady, she takes her by her hand and she turns, escorts her down the stair, and takes her safely down onto the level matting, and then she comes back up the stair. So you can see that Madeline is a very kind-hearted and a caring young lady. So that is why though she's in a hurry to go to bed, she stops, she turns, she takes the lady down, makes sure that she is safely down the stair, and then climbs back up the stairs. So now the poet tells Porphyro, who's hiding inside, now prepare, young Porphyro, for gazing on that bed. She comes again, like a ringed dove frayed and fled. So he warns Porphyro, he alerts him and tells him, be ready, look upon that bed, because here comes the young beautiful lady, like a ringed dove.